Profilarr just dropped a major update in V2, which allows highly requested features like the ability to connect multiple databases simultaneously, no more branching off when you make local changes, delay profiles, drift detection, automatic renaming, and so much more. We also got an amazing Easter egg with built-in upgrade automation to fold in the functionality of Hunter. In case you've never heard of it, Profilarr is a configuration management platform that syncs quality profiles, custom formats, and media management settings from shared databases straight into your Radarr and Sonarr instances. I'm your host, Evan. Let's improve our quality profiles with Profilarr. Before I deploy Profilarr, I'm going to want to create a dataset for all of its data to live in on TrueNAS. When I go over the datasets and I select my tank configs pool, you'll see there's already a dataset for Profilarr. That's because this video is going to encompass two things. One is going to be deploying Profilarr for the first time. Also, if you've already deployed Profilarr, I'm going to show you how to upgrade your current Profilarr. If you find that you already have a Profilarr dataset, the one thing you want to do before you delete this dataset is make sure that the container that's running it is turned off. So if you've got an R stack somewhere or a separate container, stop that stack so we can delete this dataset. I'm going to select it, then I'm going to select delete, then I'm going to highlight the entire path, paste it in the box below, and then click confirm. When I click the red delete dataset box, it should disappear. Now I'm going to select my tank configs pool and then recreate that dataset fresh from nothing. I'm going to call it Profilarr and leave the dataset preset as generic and hit save. Then I want to select the dataset I just made, and then in the bottom right, I want to click edit on the permissions box. I want to change the group to apps, give the group full permission, and then remove permissions from all others, and then make sure I check the box to apply group and hit save. Now let's click on our apps tab, and I'm going to show you how to deploy Profilarr in two ways. The first is going to be as a TrueNAS app, and the other is going to be through Dockge. Do not do both. Pick one or the other. To deploy via TrueNAS app, in the top right, click Discover Apps, and in the search bar, search for Profilarr. Click Profilarr, and then click the blue Install button. Change your time zone to whatever your local time zone is, and then scroll all the way down until you get to the storage configuration section. And for the Profilarr config storage, change the type to host path, and then select the host path we just made in Mount Tank Configs Profilarr. Scroll all the way to the bottom and hit Install. Once you see the pill turn to the green running pill for Profilarr, you can click the Web UI button. It will take you directly to the login page. Now to deploy via Dockge, I'm going to open up the Dockge Web UI by clicking on my Dockge container and then clicking Web UI. If you've never used Dockge before, I have a video explaining how to install this on TrueNAS and how to use it to manage your Docker Compose stacks. I'll include a link in the video description below. You can deploy this in a separate stack, but because I've already had it installed, it's in my R stack right now. So I'm going to want to go to my R stack and edit this and scroll down until I find the section for Profilarr. Here it is under QU. What I'm going to do is right where it says Profilarr, I'm going to put a couple spaces, and then right after Profilarr, but before Nutar, I'm going to put a couple more spaces. Now I've isolated the Profilarr section, and I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to delete it. Then I'm going to jump over to the Wiki. Once on the Wiki, in the top search bar, search for Profilarr, and click the result. Scroll down to section 1 where it says Deploy Profilarr, and then copy everything in the box. Now jump back to your Dockge page. Right where I removed Profilarr last time, I'm just going to paste in this whole block, and then I'm going to find the line that says Services, and I'm going to remove that line. Couple things to check before you go ahead and deploy this. Make sure that your volume is actually at Mount Tank Configs Profilarr in case your pool is named something else. Also go ahead and change your time zone here if you need to. Once you're done, scroll all the way back to the top and click Deploy. Once the stack is active, I'm going to scroll all the way down to the new Profilarr section, and I'm going to click the 6868 pill to jump into the Web UI. Once we get to the logon screen, we need to create a username. In this case, I'm just going to use admin, and we're going to set a password here. You'll notice there's an OIDC button over here on the left, and if you want to go ahead and change to using OIDC or turning off completely if you have an existing reverse proxy setup, you can do that in the environment variables. Click Create Account. Now that we're here, the first thing that we see is that there is an announcement. So when I click the announcement, it talks about Profilarr V2 being available, and it goes over all the features I'm going to show you today. I'm going to click the action here to mark this as read. One of the things you'll notice immediately is that we already have a database here. However, I'm going to show you a couple more databases to use. Dictionarry is wonderful, but there's another database that we use pretty frequently. It's called Dumpstar. The reason Dumpstar is getting very famous is because they have one of the only good anime profiles out there right now if you're a person who watches anime. In order to add another database, jump back over to the wiki and go to section 3, link a database. To add the Dumpstar database, I'm going to copy the repo link from right here, and I'm going to jump back to Profilarr. And from here in the top right corner, I'm going to click the plus, and then I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to call it Dumpstar. And then I'm going to paste the repository URL that I just copied from the wiki and leave everything else default. And in the top right, click Save. In the very bottom left, you'll see the database link is complete. Now I see the new database here. And I can see it's working because I've got 9 quality profiles, 159 custom formats, and 1 delay profile. We're going to add one more repo, and that's the servers at home repo, and I'm going to explain to you why we're going to add that in a minute. But this entire thing is a new feature because before you were only able to have one database linked at one time, and now we can add as many databases as we want. Let's jump back to the wiki. You'll notice here the trash database is also linked, and this isn't directly linked to trash. The people that run Dictionary are actually just basically cloning the trash repo and then converting it over into the PCD format that they need, but it's the same thing as the trash repo. So if you like trash and you like their formats, go ahead and grab this one. The servers at home repo is just a combination of Dictionary and Dumpster in one repo. And again, I'll explain later why that's important. Jumping back to the databases, I'm going to click plus, and I'm going to add one here for servers at home. And in the repo URL, I'm going to paste the one that I copied, leave everything else default, and in the top right, click save. You'll see it pop up as soon as it gets in here, and you can see here we have 20 quality profiles, 410 formats, and 3 delay profiles. Now let's add Radarr and Sonarr to this and start syncing some profiles. Click the R's link below, and you'll see there's nothing added yet, but that's fine. We can go ahead and add an instance, and I'm going to start with Radarr, and my URL is just going to be Radarr using port 7878, and that's because everything's in one giant stack right now. If you got yours separated into all different containers, you're going to need to make sure to use the real URL. I'm going to select the type of Radarr, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab my API key. Paste the API key and then click the test connection button, and you should get the green connection successful notification on the top. And once that's done, go ahead and hit save. Now let's add another one. Let's add Sonarr. In this case, in the top right, I'm going to use the plus, and I'm going to call it Sonarr. And my URL is going to be the same thing like Radarr was. It's just going to be Sonarr using port 8989 because I have everything in one stack. The type is going to be Sonarr, and I'm going to enter my API key. After I paste my API key in, I'm going to hit test connection, and as soon as I see connection successful, I'm going to hit the save in the top right. Now, before I go ahead and configure this to actually start syncing, I want to do one thing, and that's jump over to my delay profiles. When I click delay profiles, on the top, I have all 3 of the repos I'm connected to: Dictionary, Dumpster, and servers at home. Now, we can sync the delay profiles independent of the quality profile. So it doesn't matter whether or not you want to use quality profiles from Dumpster and then maybe the Dictionary delay profiles. You can go either way. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to show you how to use the servers at home repo, and I'm just going to use the default delay. I'm going to change a couple things in the default delay. I'm going to prefer torrent, and I'm going to leave the 60 minutes on, but I'm going to bypass if highest quality is there, and I'm going to bypass above custom format score, and I'm going to save changes. What this is going to do in the default delay, and you can see these are now added to the bottom, is it's going to say that after something is released, it's going to wait 60 minutes to see if there's anything better released, but it's going to not wait any time at all in 2 conditions. 1, if it finds anything of highest quality, or 2, if it's above the custom format score. So if something you're looking for is released immediately and it's got a low score, Profilarr is going to wait 60 minutes. Now you can change this to as low as you or as high as you want. It's completely up to you. And in the event you have more questions about this, one of the nice things they've added to Profilarr all the way down here on the bottom left is going to be the onboarding section. When I click onboarding and I come down here all the way to the bottom where it says delay profiles, I can click start here and it's going to take me to the delay profiles section, and it's going to walk me through each one of these cards, and it's going to say what each one does. So for example, when we get to delays here, it says how long in minutes to wait for each protocol before committing to a grab. A longer wait gives slow release groups time to post their polished versions instead of jumping on the first thing that meets your profile. Now I'm going to close this window and I'm going to click I'm done. But you can do this at any time to get more of an explanation of what any of these things do. But now that my delay profile is ready, I'm going to jump back to my R section up here, and I'm going to start by configuring Radarr. So in Radarr, the first thing it's going to bring me to is the sync tab. And there are 7 tabs across the top, and I'm going to show you each one of them. Again, if you were wondering how things work, you can always click the How It Works button in the top right, and it'll explain what every single one of these sections does. In the naming section, again, we have the option of using the naming for any of the profiles that we've synced. So you can pick anything you want here. So for example, I can use the naming from the dictionary here, and I can use the servers at home quality definitions. You can mix and match from all the repos you've connected. I'm just going to use mine for right now, but you guys can use whatever you want. I always want to make sure my triggers are set to on pull every single time. And once I've set this up the way I want to, I'm just going to click save. For the delay profiles, I'm going to use the default delay that I just set up, and again, change the trigger to on pull, and then click save for the section. Remember to hit save for each individual section. Scrolling down to the quality profiles, and this is where it starts to make a difference. Let's say, for example, I really like the 1080p balance from Dictionary. You'll notice when I click the 1080p balance profile, I lose the ability to click any other formats from any other repo. When I just leave my mouse here, it says only one database can be used per instance. The way the profiler is set up by default is if you're going to use one profile from, say, Dictionary and one from Dumpstar, you'd have to have two different R stacks set up. I would have to have two instances of Radarr or maybe two instances of Sonarr in order to mix and match. The Servers at Home repo is a perfect combination of the Dictionary repo and the Dumpstar repo. It is literally just these two put together in one. So instead of me having to pick 1080p balance from Dictionary and maybe animate 1080p from Dumpstar, which would block me from doing other things, I can now do the 1080p balanced and I can do animate 1080p. If you want to have anime sync like this is probably the best way to go. And in fact, the actual ones I used are the 2160p efficient, and I tend to like 1080p efficient for my 1080p quality. So this is the exact setup I'm going to have. And again, I'm going to change this to on pull, and then I'm going to click save. Now all my sections are set up, and I can jump over to the drift section. I want to turn the drift detection on, and I want to leave it daily, and I'm going to click save. Drift is really cool. It's basically going to show you whether or not you're in sync with Profilarr from your Radarr or Sonarr instance. So right now, because I haven't actually changed any of the syncs, I haven't clicked these sync buttons, I'm definitely going to be in a big drift. So when I hit run now, you'll notice there's a ton of stuff that's out of sync. So now let's jump back to the sync tab, and I'm going to sync everything to eliminate the 168 items of drift that I have. Sync, keep scrolling down, and I'll sync that. And you can see there's some progress bars going on telling me where the sync is, and in the very bottom left, you'll see it's syncing quality profile. So it's going to take a minute to do all that. The delay profiles in media management are fast, but the quality profiles can sometimes take a while. But it looks like it's done now, so let's go ahead and click drift again. I'm going to run it again. There shouldn't be any drift. The drift check has been complete, and now everything is synced up. That's great. Next is the upgrades tab, and this is really amazing. If you click the info button in the top right, it'll tell you what everything does, and this is basically just Hunter built into Profilarr. So I'm going to go back here, and I'm going to show you how this would be set up. You're going to want to check enabled. The schedule right now is custom, but I'm going to run it hourly, and I'm going to leave it as round robin. Now in the search filters, I'm going to want to click the plus, and I'm going to use the default filter. The default filter is great. It's looking for anything that's monitored, and the status is released. And you can bring your status a little bit earlier. For example, you can look at announced or in cinemas, but I'm going to go and use announced. I like the fact that the cutoff is 100% because this means it's going to stop searching for things once it reaches the minimum quality profile standards that you've set. As it's searching, you'll see on the bottom that there have been no upgrade runs yet, but once I enable it and save it, which I'm going to do right now by clicking save in the top right, as it runs, it's going to show you the result of the runs and the upgrades here in the bottom section. There's a ton of other things you can do. You can add rules and groups, and when I add a rule, once I hit the drop-down box, you'll see I have a number of additional filters, and if I want to add a group, I can add a group here. I can easily remove them just by clicking the X box and then the X box here, and now we're back to normal. I could turn this filter on or off if I want by using the enable and disable power button. I can copy it, duplicate it, or delete it. That's all it takes to make this run in Radarr. The best thing to do is do a dry run first, and once you do a dry run, it'll recognize and show you that there is nothing here to do because of course my libraries are empty. Going on to the renames tab, we're going to want to enable this. I'm going to leave folders off, but you can turn folders on. I'm going to let it run daily, and I'm going to hit save. And all this is going to do is make sure that my media is being named correctly. Now, it should be being named correctly because I just set it for that in the sync tab, like I showed you before. But just in case something sneaks in here, or maybe I add something manually and forget to do the proper steps, every single day at midnight, Profilarr will run and it will check to make sure all the names are of the right format. There's a logs tab so you can see everything that's going on. And you can go back to settings, and this is where I set up Radarr and enter my API key. I do want to go ahead and make some changes here in the settings. For the library refresh, I want to go ahead and add this maybe every 24 hours. This is going to make sure the cache library data is refreshed every 24 hours. And I do want to use the enabled weekly cleanup. This removes unused quality profiles, custom formats, and media is flagged as removed from TMDB or TVDB. The important thing about this cleanup is sometimes profiles and custom formats and regex expressions will change. And when they change, sometimes they can be orphaned in Radarr and Sonarr. So every single week at midnight on Sunday, this is going to run and just find all the empty stuff. And I can run it now if I want. And you can see already I have 35 stale formats and 8 stale quality profiles that don't need to be there. So I'm going to hit clean up, and it's going to remove those from my Radarr instance. Once I hit save, I'm going to go ahead and go to Sonarr on the left, and we're going to do the same thing all over again. After you've set everything up for Sonarr the exact same way you set it up for Radarr, you can come down here and look at some other things, but you'll never actually need to use them. For example, the quality profiles are here, and it'll give you a description and show you what the scores and the custom formats are for everything in Dictionary, Dumpstar, and Servers at Home. So you can see exactly what it is that the author intended. So for example, when I go to Dumpstar, his animated 1080p is actually based on the Trash Guide's anime profile. that has dual audio. Now he's tweaked this just a little bit, but you can see all the little settings here. And when I click animate 1080p, I can look at the scoring individually to see how each one of these things are scored, and I can make changes if I want. The important thing to know about making changes is before this used to be basically a branch that was done GitHub style inside Profilarr itself, and they stopped doing that. So it's a lot easier just to make changes now without having to worry about doing polls and a whole lot of other stuff that the original V1 of Profilarr was doing. Go ahead and just adjust your scores here and make sure to hit save in the top right. There are also qualities in here, and again, I recommend you don't touch any of this unless you know what you're doing. We can jump over to custom formats, and you can see all the custom formats and regex expressions that are in here in the event that you want to tweak anything. But again, I recommend you leave everything the exact same way it is. And it goes for media management as well. You can see the way that the naming settings are set up for each of the individual repos that I'm connected to. Same with quality definitions and media settings.
Did you know I'm available for hire? If you would like a free quote, follow the Hire Me link in the video description below to book time with me one-on-one.
Looking at the project health of Profilarr, it's got about 2,300 stars at the moment. Version 2.0 dropped on May 16th, 2026, and we're already up to about 2.05 a week and a half later. And that's mostly bug fixes for custom size formats, cloned R instances with shared API keys, and a few other rough edges. The good news is that after they launched 2.0, they were quick to patch all the little bugs that were brought up in the issues section. Looking at the commit graph, this is a very actively maintained project. It's built primarily by Santiago Says Hey, with the Dictionarry Database maintained by Seraphis, and a small support team handling questions on Discord. Comparing this to something like Recyclarr, I like Profilarr more for any setup with more than one R instance, or any setup where you actually want to see what your custom formats are doing. Recyclarr is great, don't get me wrong. It's very lightweight, it's CLI driven, and it's a single set and forget. If you have one Radarr and one Sonarr and you trust Trash Guy's defaults, Recyclarr is hard to beat for its simplicity. But I really struggle sometimes to build the YAMLs the way they want to. I don't think it's really intuitive the way it's built. And I think the way that Profilarr does this all in the UI by showing you exactly what formats do what and letting you pick and choose just with a click of a mouse button exactly what you want to sync is absolutely superior. Profilarr is a bigger investment, but you get the GUI you can actually browse, multi-database support, which I really like if you don't like what Trash Guides does. The drift detection is very nice. The ability to do upgrades automatically, so this way I don't have to run something else to replace Hunter, is amazing. The automatic renames, all these things are not found in Recyclarr. If you have a home lab that has multiple instances of Radarr Sonarr, or you love anime and you want to be able to pick anime and profiles that favor X265 instead of H264, Profilarr is the obvious pick. Profilarr V2 is a really impressive piece of software. The V1 to V2 jump is dramatic and it includes breaking changes. The new customization layer alone is worth the upgrade, since the old Git three-way merge model was probably the single most complicated thing about V1. The library pages is nice, the drift, the in-app updates, all these things are best in class for anyone that wants to take their custom formats seriously. There's a little bit of a learning curve, which I just showed you. The UI's got a lot of elements to it because there's a lot of things it can do. But if you go through this video slowly and look at each thing individually and use the onboarding steps, it'll feel pretty quick. What custom format setup are you running right now? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this helpful, hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video we release. If you want to see content YouTube won't let us show you, head over to Patreon. There's a link in the video description below. If you think this is just a little too much for you and you just want to go to a standard Recyclarr instance, go ahead and check out the video I made on Recyclarr. I'll put a link to it in the video description below. Thanks for watching, everybody, and as always, stay curious.